toxic masculinity.
What do we got here coming up? Riots break out on the anniversary of George Floyd's overdose. Riots break out on the anniversary of George Floyd's overdose. Guys, it's not just riots. It's not just riots. It's also a shooting in George Floyd Square, right? So they took like the street corner in Minneapolis that George Floyd died at of an overdose. And they said, you know what? This is a good day to try to kill somebody with a gun. Let's go ahead and shoot some people. So some folks went out there and they started shooting each other on George Floyd Square on the anniversary of his death. Which why do we even care about the anniversary of his death? He's a criminal loser. Yeah, okay, it's not great that he died, whatever, but like he died of a drug overdose. That happens every single day in the country. People die of drug overdose. It's sad. It's terrible, right? But like, get over it. I mean, it's not something for the whole country to go like crazy over. We're all going crazy over it. All right, so let's have a look at this. Let me change the view here. Boom. So this is this is George Floyd Square being reported on. You guys may have seen this already, but let's go ahead and play it.
Well, look, it's not going to be signed in time, at least according to the timeline that the White House and U.S. President Joe Biden had. They wanted this bill of comprehensive police reform to be... just got to be careful here with some gunshots. Excuse us. It sounds like gunshots. I'll let you know what this is. These seem to be gunshots.
I love how understated this guy is. He's just like, he just keeps on reporting. Here's the gunshots. He's like, oh, well, I'm a professional. I can just talk through this. And he's like, well, actually, no. You'll have to excuse us one moment. I believe there's gunshots. So English. I love it. I don't love the gunshots. I don't think that's great. But what an irony, huh? And this is what I'm talking about with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. You know, there's this idea that we have to celebrate Black Lives Matter. You know, that there's some kind of like some great quality about George Floyd that we have to celebrate or some crap like that. You know, that we have to pretend that white cops are killing black civilians, you know, with these massive numbers, which they're not. You know, that's not happening. That's all a lie. Why are we pretending? Why are we keeping up this? And the whole Black Lives Matter thing, by the way, it's all based on a lie. It's based on this lie that cops are killing unarmed black men at like these ridiculously high numbers. It's just not true. It very rarely happens. Incredibly rarely happens. And I think that just goes to show that nobody really cares about George Floyd. The Black Lives Matter folks, they don't care about George Floyd. You know, the folks in Minneapolis, they don't care about George Floyd. You know, people, you know what a lot of these people care about? Looting. They care about running into a Rolex store and just stealing a bunch of watches. They care about trying to get something out of it. Oh, well, if we complain enough and we scream and yell and burn down a Wendy's, well, then maybe the U.S. government will give us some money, right? And you're not helping the situation by acquiescing to their demands. All right, let's move on from there to discuss what's happened in Portland, Oregon. And this is, I always hate when something horrible happens in Portland because that's where I'm from. I'm from Oregon. Riot erupts in Portland on anniversary of George Floyd's murder. Way to celebrate the guy that you think is so amazing. Militant protesters mark the anniversary of George Floyd's murder with yet another riot in Portland, Oregon, smashing up local businesses and trying to burn down the city's Justice Center, according to police. More than 200 rioters, mostly fully clad in black and wearing gas masks, trashed the troubled City of Roses. They call us the City of Roses, the City of Bridges. We got a lot of bridges. We have this beautiful rose garden. Soon after, a peaceful march ended late Tuesday, according to the Portland Police Bureau. Some of the mob tried to torch the Multnomah County Justice Center by pushing flaming dumpsters against the buildings, as at least two people tried to pry open the doors to get inside. God, I mean, honestly, sometimes they really just need to arrest all those people. Anytime people are out there doing that, just arrest them all. Get a massive force of maybe National Guardsmen out there. But, the city's run by a bunch of lefties, so they're just going to let it happen. People chanted, "Burn the building down," the force said, noting how many used umbrellas to hide their illegal activities. Umbrellas, balaclavas, whatever they need. People threw frozen water bottles, glass bottles, eggs, and metal spikes at officers and fired mortar-style fireworks at officers. I mean, if they're throwing like a spiked metal at you and glass bottles, you can shoot them. You can shoot them. I don't understand why they're not shooting these people. The mob continued the barrage and also formed rows of metal spikes in the streets to try to stop firefighters from getting in to tackle the blaze. Yeah, you can shoot people then too. If people are trying to murder you, right, trying to burn a building down with people inside, yeah, you can shoot them, right? They're trying to kill you. When the fire was out, the firefighters got safely away. Officers deployed smoke and left the... deployed smoke? Officers deployed... Oh, smoke, like tear gas. And then left the area. The crowd still numbered more than 200. It moved to City Hall, where windows were smashed, the force said. It was finally declared a riot around 10 p.m. It was declared a riot around 10 p.m. finally because of the violent and tumultuous conduct of the crowd. No crap. The rioters then smashed up several local businesses. I mean, why do we even have a mural of this ugly dude? Yeah, look, it's bad that people die of drug overdoses, but we don't need to, like, pretend he's some kind of a martyr. And this is what drives me nuts the most. Like, this, I mean, I cannot wait until there's some kind of a, there's some kind of an appeal to this trial, because this is a farce. I don't understand why people on Fox News are constantly calling. At one point, they said the death of George Floyd. It was, I don't remember who it was on Fox. They go, the death of George Floyd, and then they stopped themselves and said the murder of George Floyd. I thought, why would you stop yourself to say that? Because the guy was convicted? It was like a kangaroo court, man. It was a foregone conclusion. They needed him convicted to appease the terrorists. It's absolutely ridiculous. Justice has not been served. The guy died of a drug overdose, and this guy's going to prison because of it. Like, what unbelievably bad luck. Can you imagine? You go ahead and you become a police officer. You want to fight for the American people. You want to fight to make the world a better place. And you arrest a guy who's giving you a lot of trouble. And he's trying to escape. And you're trying to get him into the car. And you got to hold him down, until you get some help to arrive, till he calms down. The guy dies of a drug overdose. And then you have to go to prison for years because of an arrest you made where a guy was on drugs and you didn't realize it and he died of a drug overdose. It sucks, man. That's like the worst possible thing. It's just absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And it doesn't even need to happen, because all you have to have is like rational people saying, okay, we know this wasn't your fault. You can go. But we don't. We have hundreds, thousands and thousands of people who just want to see that guy hanged. All right, I'm done with this story. It makes me sick, pisses me off. Stop rioting for George Floyd. There's nothing to riot for, you guys. I think these guys just like to riot, if I'm honest. Hey, buddy. You want to hang out? You can come up. Want to say hi to the ladies and gentlemen? Okay. All right, I'm done with that story. Let's move on to the next one. The next story is Biden administration physically stops Republicans from entering a border facility. Yeah, this is a weird one. This is a very weird one. It says I have 4 on here, but I actually am not going to do the Dershowitz. I don't think that's a good story. I read it, didn't like it. Okay, so Biden administration physically restricts 12 GOP lawmakers from access. I was going to say accessing. From access to a border facility. Hold on, I'm trying to find. Boom, there we go. All right, so this is it. This is the story. This is actually kind of a big story. I don't know why it's not bigger. I hadn't really heard of it until I was sent the stories for today. And I thought, wow, that's kind of a big deal. Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.